Hello, everybody. It's time for a special edition of Inside the Nest podcast. I'm Patrick McNeil, joined by my co-host, Brad Chandler, and a very special guest returning to the Nest, Steve Dixon, 4 years with the Eagles. Steve, how surreal is it to be back here in the Nest in this press box that didn't actually exist when you played here?
Yeah, no, looking around the rink, there's a lot of good changes here, and things are looking good, really good. Nice to be back.
Walking in those doors, what are the first memories you think of when you're back at the Center 200?
Just all the good times I had here, really, and I just think back to even my first year, probably when I first came in, and how cool it was for me to be playing in Cape Breton, playing in the Quebec League, and that feeling kind of doesn't go away.
Yeah, when you came in, the team was kind of starting to come into its own. Do you feel that energy at that time? They're kind of really becoming the Islands team? Yeah,
we had an older team that year, and we had a little playoff push, and you could really feel the community get behind us. And, being a young guy, part of a veteran team like that, you learned a lot pretty quick. And just the atmosphere we had here every game, it was just awesome to be part of.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day, a fan who'd been following the Eagles a while. He said he was there when the Oilers won the Calder Cup, and it was louder to him when the Eagles beat Halifax in that 6-game series. Remember, you close your eyes and hear the fans singing and all that?
Well, that's a big memory as well. And jumping into that series at 16 years old, and just think of the big – I can still remember some of those big goals in that series. Stu McRae, Dom Noel, big game winners, and just seeing how crazy the rink was, and how crazy the rink was in Halifax too. Passionate fans on both sides, but being a young guy walking into that it was kind of surreal, really. You got all your buddies watching the games and going to the games when we were up in Halifax, and when we beat Halifax that year, that was pretty crazy. It was pretty good memory.
As a young kid coming to Cape Breton, because obviously you're not very far away, staying in Nova Scotia, what was your initial reaction to knowing you're coming to the Cape?
Yeah, I was very, very happy to come to Cape Breton. For me, it was nice to stay in Nova Scotia, nice for my parents. A big thing at the time, too, was the English high school, which for me, it didn't really matter, but my mom was a teacher, so she was excited about that. And growing up as a kid, you're always playing in tournaments in Cape Breton. There's, quite a connection, I think, in the hockey world all over Nova Scotia. So, you're familiar with the place, and no, I was really happy to come here.
And what about living in Sydney? Do you feel like you adapted pretty quick? Because I was talking to someone the other day, and they said that what they remember of you is coming here and almost becoming a Cape Bretoner. Right away.
Yeah, that was probably the best thing that happened to me was going to high school here. I went to Sydney Academy, and it was just nice to meet so many good friends away from the rink, and a lot of them, still my good buddies now. So it was, it's nice to, you're in the rink. You're in the rink a few hours a day, but it's nice to have friends outside the rink as well. And, we had guys like Stu McRae was here, a local guy, and got to know people in the community, and a lot of those ties, I still have now. So it's, that was a good experience.
I think Steve said he was a true Cape Bretoner because he's walking around Halifax running into people he knows from Cape Breton.
Well, that's it. Yeah. I see more Cape Bretoners in Halifax than people I grew up with there. So, yeah, it's funny, quite a few living up there now.
And you played a lot of cards in high school, eh?
University. Yeah.
Oh, it was university.
It was
another
university.
true Cape Breton thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I did, 2 years Sydney Academy, 2 years at UCB. It was UCCB, I think, back then. And, I was more at the card table than getting into class. But that was a great time as well. It's meeting new people there as well. And, that was a great part about being here.
Still remember the rules to Tarbush?
I don't think I played since. No. No, I'm sure I'll pick it up quick, though.
There you go. That's perfect.
Coming into that group, how did you fit in with the rest of the boys that year?
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was an older group, and being a young guy. And I was really lucky. I lived with Pascal Morency. I'm sure a lot of fans remember Pascal. Yeah. He was, very charismatic, passionate guy, passionate about the team. And, he very entertaining player here, really fan favorite, big-time fan favorite. And, he was an older guy, played hard, so it was good to, you automatically have, have someone you're living with. So he'd bring me around and kind of, mingle me in with the group. And guys like Stu and Dom, Justin Hocko, George Davis, Hunter Lash, these guys, they were great with me, and a lot of still keep in contact with them all. So.
It was Pascal just as much of a character at home as he was on the ice?
Oh yeah, there was never a dull moment. He was just such a great guy. What you see, what you get. It's just the way he is. He's full energy. Loves life and just a passionate guy. So it was it was pretty entertaining. Pretty entertaining around the house.
How did you like billeting your first year? Because obviously that would probably be a big adjustment.
Yeah, it was. For me, I was an only child, and going in, I lived with Pascal, and I was with the Mathesons. We had Drew there. It wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't a hard transition at all. They were such a great family, and just kind of mingled in right away. And the three of us, siblings, I guess, if you want to call it, but we all got along great and had a good laugh. So
yeah, it seems like you guys had lots of laughs. I heard a story, and I need you to clarify this. Do you remember a time after one of the games where the bus left without you and there was a taxi, that you took a taxi behind the bus?
I do remember that, actually.
Can you tell that story?
I think it was when I kind of first started. And, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember I would always take a taxi. I didn't have my driver's license at the time, but I'd always take a taxi, and I think I might have been a little late. But anyways, the bus took off. And I had to chase the bus. And luckily enough, well, not luckily enough, but there was bus troubles, and maybe engine troubles or something. So we had to pull over a little bit after that, so it kind of got swept under the rug.
So you just tell the taxi driver, we're just going to drive until I catch the bus?
Well, basically, yeah. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure we were chasing him down the highway. And that's not a good feeling when you're a rookie.
And they were just ribbing you the whole time.
Basically.
Yeah.
These things happen.
You mentioned yesterday, from playing from 01 to 05, you noticed a change in the game and throughout the league. Can you kind of explain that? What was different about the game from when you started and when you left the queue?
I just think it was, when you see the transition to what the game is now, it's, not for better or worse, but, it was just, I remember, the first couple of years was, there was, obviously a little more fighting and there were some pretty scary guys in the league, and great teammates as well. But there was a lot of sticking up for team. A lot of. I mean, we remember a lot of brawls here. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. There's some pretty wild stuff going on, and you could just see it slowly kind of getting filtered out of the game. And I think my last year was the NHL lockout year. So I think you see all after that lockout, things kind of changed a bit. I think all hockey changed at the same time. And although you're seeing it come back in the NHL now a bit more, there's still room for guys that play tough. And I guess it's just the way the game goes.
Did you feel like that benefited you as maybe a smaller guy, the way the game was moving?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I actually kind of liked the old school game a little bit. It was definitely entertaining. And the thing is, you always had guys that had your back, and it was more. I guess there was kind of a little bit more of a code where the tough guys were fighting the tough guys, and kind of made life a little bit easier on you.
I don't think he minded mixing it up. We saw him give Crosby a bit of a go there in the tape that we were watching the other day.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if that was me. I think that was someone else. No.
Well, you can take the credit if you want.
No. Yeah, Sid's a good guy.
And you guys were teammates on the World Junior team, and you had the chance to play there twice, obviously, silver and gold. Do you keep contact with those guys? Do you have any idea when you were doing and how special it was? Because people look back at that 05 team, and that's considered probably the best junior team ever assembled.
Yeah, it's funny, looking back now that I'm done playing, it's, something to look back at and be really proud about. And, at the time, you don't realize, it's just kind of you're going through it, and you don't, you appreciate it, but you're not, you don't kind of realize what you're doing. And looking back at that team, just to be part of it, it's something real special that probably means a lot more now that I'm older and done playing. But it's just a great experience, great group of guys both years, and it was awesome to win it there in North Dakota.
And what a chance to play in back-to-back tournaments too, which I think a lot of people would.
It was. I was a kind of a later draft pick to Pittsburgh, so for me, there wasn't that much pressure on me. I ended up going to the under-18s, and we won gold there. Pascal was actually assistant coach, and we won the gold medal. And that just kind of led into, I got an invite to summer camp and had a good camp, but I never had much pressure on me. It was just, oh, geez, excited to get invited, and had a good camp. I went to the Christmas camp, had a good camp, and just one thing led to another, and was lucky enough to make the team.
Did you feel pressure that second year because Canada was in a long drought at the time? It was a big thing. I know when they had the World Juniors in Halifax, silver again. Poor Marc-Andre Fleury suffered the brunt of that one, and you get the silver medal, but then you get the gold. Was that a weight off the country's shoulders?
I think we had 12 returning guys or something like that, maybe even more. But I want to say 12, and I think from day one, even in summer camp, with Sutter coming in as the coach, it was it was all business, and guys knew what it took from that the loss the year before, and yeah, right from training camp from day one, you could tell it was a different feeling, and there was no spots guaranteed either. Everyone was fighting for a job because, when you're in that, there's so many good players, and yeah, I just remember even practice, how intense practices were, which is kind of crazy when you're in that a tournament like that, but guys were battling, and everyone knew. Kind of knew what was at stake, and there was no, kind of taking things for granted.
Who were some of the guys you were playing with, maybe some of your better buddies from that year? Or from that tournament, I should say?
Well, Sid, I grew up with Sid, playing against him and, going to camps. I think we played in a team, maybe in Adam. I think he jumped up a few years.
When he was 6.
But no, when you're in a tournament like that, you're together as a group all the time, and there's no real cliques. I know, Dion Phaneuf, he spends a lot of time in PEI. So, got to know Dion. And, it's different when I was spent a lot of time in Europe and cross paths with Nigel Dawes and guys like that. But at the time, everyone was getting along. So.
And it's incredible now, like, looking back at that team, like, it's like all like multiple Hall of Famers and long careers.
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot of Stanley Cups and
yeah.
A lot of impressive careers, and a few of them are still playing, which is probably even more impressive. Yeah. So,
anybody else still left in the NHL from that team?
So Jeff Carter.
Jeff
Carter with Pittsburgh. Yeah, Corey Perry now.
Right. Yeah, right.
And
Bergeron just retired.
Bergeron just retired. Getzlaff retired. I think there was another one. I can't remember though now, but. Yeah, I know Carter and Perry for sure, and obviously Sid. Yeah.
What was Bergeron like? What was Bergeron like at that tournament, having played a full year in the NHL? It's kind of weird. He came back and had that
it's awesome.
year in the AHL.
Yeah, it was funny. Guys like him and Mike Richards as well. Or, they were just such good leaders, but very kind of went about their business, maybe a little more quiet, very professional, but just a great teammate. And with guys like that, it kind of rubs off on everyone. And obviously everyone had a lot of respect for him already playing in the NHL and then playing, I think he was in the American League during the lockout as well. So, yeah, he brought another dimension for sure.
You had mentioned earlier about the draft. Talk about the transition of playing that tournament and finishing up in the queue and or I guess not finishing up in the queue, playing those tournaments and moving on to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was you kind of go through the process. You get drafted. You're doing the summer camps, and it's actually a good way to get to know a lot of the draft picks. And you're just kind of hoping to get signed. But it was it was a lockout year, and things were kind of weird, and everything kind of happened quick. You get signed, and then you're going to rookie camp, and you're kind of right in the mix, and things happen quick. But no, it was a good transition. I think Cape Breton. The way Pascal ran things here really prepared you for pro.
What about the? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can go.
The how did the transition work for ending up, because you went to Wilkes-Barre?
Wilkes-Barre, yeah.
Place. So how did that transition occur?
Well, yeah, we just went to Pittsburgh camp there, and would have liked to make the team, but unfortunately you get sent down, and then you go to Wilkes-Barre's camp too, and then when you get there, there's so many good players even there, so you're battling for a spot in the American League, and was glad to make the team there and spent a couple great years there, and it's funny when you get there, you're playing with men, I remember Dennis Bonvie was there when I got there from Antigonish, played for the Oilers here, and you had guys like that really took care of you, because you're just, you're taken care of so well by your billets throughout your junior career. Then you're kind of on your own, and the older guys there, Dennis especially, really help the young guys out and kind of make things a little easier.
Yeah, it was AHL, rough and tumble, and Bissonette and Bonvie. There'd be the type of guys that'd be into that as a rough and tumble league at that time.
At that time, when I first started, it was, but the same thing. There's a bit of a code there where the tough guys were fighting the tough guys. But yeah, there was a lot of heavyweights. I remember Dennis was so good with those guys that Bissonette and guys like that were going had to drop the gloves a little more than other people. And he's really taught the guys how to defend themselves, and you saw a lot of those guys go on and have great careers doing what they do.
You mentioned that you live with Biz, or you were just
we lived together a couple years. Yeah, it was we knew each other from we played under 18 together. So we did the Halifax Cup and then the World Championship, and just went through the development camps. So we knew each other pretty good. So it was me, Bissonette, and Dan Carcillo. I don't remember.
Yes.
Carcillo, yeah.
3 tough tickets.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we lived together. So it was we had a good laugh, and we all had different personalities, but got along really well. So
Now, did you envision him being in the line of work that he is now? Was he always kind of that broadcaster type personality?
well, that's the one thing he hasn't changed at all. Biz is biz. That's what. He's the type of guy, you'd walk into the Penguins training camp, he'd go right up to Mario. Hey, Mario, how you doing? You know what I mean? Where most guys would be, But Biz is Biz. He's, a great guy, and I'm just, I think everyone that played with him is very happy for him, the success he's having, and, it's he's doing such a good job. It's crazy everything he's into, TNT now, and the Chicklets, and
Actually,
everything's
in a way,
kind of blowing up, really.
Yeah, he's almost in a way like kind of revolutionizing.
Yeah,
That like
for sure. He's
look at TNT. It's like it's completely different than.
Well, yeah, it's funny. It's he gets into obviously on Chicklets. His personality comes out and he's hilarious. But he's very, Biz was a really good player.
Yeah.
I remember he almost made Pittsburgh, I think, as an 18 or 19-year-old as a player. So he he knows the game well, and I think that's the good thing with him is he's got such a personality, but also knowledgeable guy that he can throw some facts around there too.
Yeah, your episode, I will confess to have not heard it, but I heard your episode was one of the better ones on Chicklets. Yeah, imagine you guys having a pretty good rapport.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things, and we got to know each other over the years. So when you know someone, you're just sitting around talking, makes things a little easier, right?
Yeah.
Now, one interesting tie-in is in the AHL, you actually played against Louis Robitaille. We would have played against him in the Q too, but I think you guys would have been on rival teams because Caps and Pens, Bears and Pens at the AHL level, pretty good rivalry. Do you remember mixing it up with him?
Yeah, I remember Louis was a tough guy to play against. He didn't like playing against him. He got underneath a lot of guys' skin. But no, he played the game hard. They had some great success there in Hershey, and he had a great pro career. But he played the game hard, and one of those guys you don't like to play against, but you'd like to have on your team.
Yeah. Do you know much off the ice?
No. I mean, we played against each other, and there's obviously I probably know guys he played with, and he knows guys I play with. I think I met him at we had an alumni Hershey and Wilkes-Barre game back in the day. That was years ago, so it was. But yeah, I never played with him, but I always liked the way he played.
Yeah, because he was big in Hershey.
Yeah.
That was kind of his
Playing in an alumni game, what was that like? Was there any tension the old times when you guys thinking about throwing fists again?
It was funny. I think I was only maybe a year or two out of the league. I was only about 24, 25 when I went back to play the alumni game.
Different.
Because I had, I know Bonvie was, I think it was Bonvie and Kelleher, guys I played with were kind of setting it up or part of it, and my season ended in Sweden early, and they, you back? Yeah, I just got back. I'll come down. There's alumni game. So it was pretty funny to go out in the alumni game when I was playing against these guys maybe a year or two before. So I was definitely the youngest one there, but it was a good laugh. I'm glad they invited me.
It's funny how we talk about that because I'm pretty sure actually Louis did fight Like, do you remember that? Because I know there's a video of him like kind of play fighting at an alumni game.
That seems like something he might do.
Yeah.
They used to. I mean, I don't remember it at that one, but
he's
I know
probably
they
got a few.
They did quite a few alumni stuff
Yeah.
throughout with Hershey and Wilkes-Barre. They have great organizations, right, and to do that stuff. But I know they would do quite a few throughout the years.
So we can expect Dix to lace the skates up for Eagles Mooseheads alumni game at any point.
If there was one, yeah, that'd be good.
There you go.
There you go.
I haven't had the skates on since I stopped playing, though. But I have to get a few laps in before.
Yeah, they don't actually film The Office in Wilkes-Barre, do they? Is that a big thing there?
I think it's in
where it's set,
Scranton,
isn't it?
yeah. So it's Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. So
Right.
Scranton's another.
Yeah.
It's about 10, 15 minutes away. Kind of like Halifax, Dartmath,
Oh, okay.
basically, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if they film it there. It's based from there,
Right.
but that's what everyone thinks about when you say
Yeah,
Wilkes-Barre or Scranton.
Well,
right?
there's a
But-
couple times where they actually talk about the Penguins. Like there's
I
there's
think
one.
someone gave the jersey or
Yeah,
something one
it's
episode.
like Michael's birthday or something.
Yeah, which is
Talk about the
hilarious.
Office again.
Yeah,
We talked about the Office in the last
It's
episode.
recurring. It's a recurring theme. Everybody knows it.
But no, it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, yeah.
Wow, it's
Playing in
based
a
out of
world
that.
famous town.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's
It also says a lot about the area because I mean that show is basically just about like middle America, just normal life. So maybe is that what
it's-
Scranton's like?
Well, it's funny, and even talked to Dennis about that. Around the rink, when he first came, it was basically like a rink. There was not much built around it, and when I got there was more coming in. And I've seen pictures lately. It's it's crazy how big the even around the rink, but probably the city and everything's kind of taken off. And no, it was it was a great place to play. It was it was kind of funny. You're seeing now the development with the kids. When I was there, I don't know if we'd pack the rink, but I don't know how closely people knew hockey before that. In terms of you go from Cape Breton, where it's a big hockey town. There's so many great hockey families and knowledgeable people here, and in Scranton they just didn't grow up with it, right? So I think. It was just kind of cool. They still loved the games and still got to the rink, but they're maybe the knowledge of the rules were not what we're used to in Canada. But
How old was the organization at the time when you got there? Like, was it newer or was it?
it was
established.
It was newer, but maybe 8, 9, 10,
Okay.
Yes.
10 years or something.
Yeah.
Or
Pittsburgh traditionally had their farm team in the IHL, I think. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
sort of
So,
a new thing.
yeah. So it was it was a new arena. That was the thing. Dennis was there the very first year, and then he went on to play in different spots, and this was kind of his homecoming.
Right.
But yeah, I'd say about 8, 9, 10 years, which isn't too long really. There, you didn't have the grassroots the way they do now, where it's it's kind of a little bit of a hockey hotbed going on in a lot of those cities now in the States. So it was just kind of see how the game's grown in so a lot of these places.
That is cool.
Yeah.
What about the so when you were on an entry level when you were with playing in the A?
Yeah, entry level with Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I actually got traded to Anaheim. So then I played in Portland. Their American League team was in Portland, Maine.
Right.
Which Portland was great. At the time they had the cat there running across running across the water, and I had a lot of friends and family coming down, and just a great city, great food there, great people. So
Was it mid season or you spent your final season in Portland?
my final season? Yeah,
It's kind of a maritime vibe there. I
big
think.
time. Yeah. Reminded me a lot of the Maritimes and a lot of seafood. You're right on the water. It was it was good. It was good hockey town there for sure. A lot of hockey history there.
No. What went into the decision to head overseas after you were done in the A?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I I didn't plan on it.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go to Europe, to be honest. In my head, I thought maybe I'll never go to Europe, but I got qualified with Anaheim and just kind of, just figured I'd keep going and got an offer in Sweden. And, at the time, my agent thought it was a good idea. And, after playing 3 years, I thought, geez, maybe I'll go try it for a year and come back after. But, ended up there 15 years in Europe, so never made her back. But it was, it wouldn't change anything. It was great to get over in these leagues and countries and get to travel. And it was a great experience.
Yeah, and you said yesterday we were talking. I was kind of surprised. You said all the leagues are a lot different from each other, like the hockey style.
Yeah, the style of hockey, big time. Being in Russia was a lot of one-on-one, a lot of skill. Finland played a North American style, a lot of, it was physical, kind of up and down, a lot of structures, very defensive league too. When I started in Sweden, it was a lot of puck control, a lot of, they didn't want you dumping the puck. I was kind of used to the North American game. I remember, my first game, I dumped a couple pucks, and the guys are saying, hey, we don't do that here. So, but, in Germany is a lot of North Americans, and ended it in the UK, which is very North American. I think there's, I think you have to have 5 homegrown players. So you've got, 14, 15 guys from back here, and it's one of those leagues. There's still a lot of fights, still a lot of, it's pretty old. Maybe one of the last old school leagues going. So a lot of fun.
Well, it kind of seems like it's the thing today where in international competition they always say that like maybe the Canadian style or the North American style is a little bit more rough. Was that what it was like at that time? Because like you said, the game was changing, but did you find that, playing in North America compared to overseas is different in terms of roughness?
Yeah, and I think a lot has to do with the size of the ice as well. It's, it's hard to finish checks, especially say in Russia where, some of those rinks are so big, felt like you're on a soccer field. So you can't be running around all game. It's just kind of impossible to finish your checks. And even Olympic-size ice, it changes the game a bit. And you definitely have to rely more on skating and more skill for sure.
Now, I know in Cape Breton, you did a good job of kind of adapting and becoming a Cape Bretoner. I feel like you did a little bit of that in Europe too. Like if you look at your Instagram, or you see, you're at Stamford Bridge watching Chelsea or whatnot. Like how much of the quote unquote local culture did you take in all these places?
Yeah, it was. Every place I went, I always tried to, not get involved, but kind of adapt and realize that you're in their country and kind of learn their ways and what they were into. And there's a lot of great experiences. Especially in the UK, the rugby and the soccer or football they call it. But that was such a awesome thing seeing those rugby games in Wales. It's just a whole different world. And like you said, the soccer, the Chelsea and Newcastle. Actually, last year, my equipment guy in Glasgow, he was the equipment guy in Newcastle back in the day, and there was a guy Longstaff who's a kind of a legend over there. So his 2 kids, and Sean's on the big team, so they play for Newcastle United now in the Premier League. So he kind of had that in. We'd have a couple of days off. Say, hey, come on, we'll go up to the Newcastle game. So it's kind of nice to make those connections, and it's just a different beast when you see those sports how big they are. It's pretty wild.
What were the fan bases like playing in the UK specifically, I guess? Yeah,
the UK is it's more of a soccer fan base for sure. But all those European countries, it's I was blown away with the fan support. You go through all those leagues, and Germany's a country that blew me away with the facilities and the fan support they had all over the country. It was pretty wild. I think of Finland. It was in a city, Tampere. I think they just hosted the World Championships there. But they had 2 pro teams playing out of one rink, and both teams packed the rink, and we'd be playing the other team at a home game, and we were blue, they were green, and we'd play. It was their home game, and the whole rink's green. It didn't even feel like you're in your own rink. So it was just crazy how passionate. And like these aren't big cities either, right? It's not like there's millions of people in these cities. Maybe the 300, 400,000, and to have that fan support for 2 teams, I was just blown away.
Can you talk about how obviously Canadians, I feel like we would not think of the UK as being a big hockey country. Is that probably inaccurate?
Well, it's catching on. I think there's definitely certain hot spots. Cardiff's a wild hockey town. I think they sell the rink out just about every game. But Belfast is one of those spots where you go in there and they got a beautiful rink, maybe like an NHL style rink where they pack the rink. Sheffield's another place, Nottingham. then there's other spots. There's smaller rinks, but there's still a market. I think it's a very for the league, it's just not a huge sport there yet, right? There's a lot to compete with soccer, right? It doesn't get the media coverage, I should say.
Right.
That, I think, if they start getting a little more media coverage, and I know in Cardiff they're doing a lot of grassroots stuff with the junior Devils and getting the young kids into hockey, and hopefully it keeps growing.
And partying with the fans after the game, is that a thing?
Well, it's hilarious. It's I was lucky enough. Joey Haddad was there my first couple years in Cardiff, and there's quite a few ties there. Stu McRae played there. Yeah. David Bryan, remember Dave Bryan? So Chris Culligan. So there's a few ties to here in the Maritimes, but yeah, it's kind of a little different than most of those places are pretty strict with. They don't really want you out and around drinking that much, but in the UK, it's obviously they don't want you doing it all the time. But, after a game, it's kind of like, all right, get showered up, head up to the bar, have a drink with the fans, and the fans really, I think they, it's good for the clubs and it's good for the fans to, it's a real what are they, like they need bums in the seats, right? So it's good to have that connection with the fans, and you end up meeting a lot of great people that way too, and mingling with the sponsors, things like that, and just to get people, get people in the rink.
Yeah.
And
what was the celebration like after winning in the Finnish league? And I guess you won in the UK as well. Is that right?
Yeah. Finland was actually pretty crazy. It's like I said, the fan support, but I mean we had a huge parade and they had hotel rooms for all the guys downtown. So we had a big party there for a few days. And in Finland, they have a thing, a fine fund. So it's just stupid little things throughout the year. You leave your sandal at a place. And so they collect money. And at the end of the year, every team does a team trip. So you collect all that fine fund money, and it pays for everyone's hotels, flights, and the whole team goes somewhere. So I think that year after we won it, I think the team or a sponsor doubled our fine fund. So we went to, where did we go? We went to Spain, Madrid, like all paid for. You go there. We partied there for a few days, came back, and they still had the hotels. It was pretty wild experience. And same in the UK. It's, just passionate fans and it means so much to people in those communities.
Now, where does Steve Dixon rank in the fine fund in terms of money contributed to his team?
I wasn't too bad. I'm a neat guy. No, I'm just joking. But if you play an old team, you put some money on the board, or they were pretty tight there though, and no one mind paying it because you knew you were going on a trip at the end of the year. Or a lot of these other times, there's a fine fund, but no one really pays it because no one knows kind of what the money's being used for.
You're almost looking for excuses to get in trouble to make the party at the end better?
Exactly, yeah. So no one cared. It was good.
When you played in Glasgow, were you were kind of like, I think Joey was the one that told me about this situation where you were kind of the coach when you were also playing. Is that true?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So I went as player assistant, and then throughout the year the coach left, and I was basically it was it's like, okay, you're the coach now type of thing. And I was injured at the time as well though, so it was a great experience. It was good to see the game from the other side of things. And I had another guy, Stevenson, and Sean Boutin as well. He was injured throughout the year, so we were all playing and coaching, and Boutin was out, and he's the assistant coach in Val d'Or now. Right. But it was a good experience for us. The guy Stevenson, he's back playing now, but we were, we were kind of figuring it out as we went, and being around playing it long enough, it was just getting to prepare the guys, but at the end it was kind of funny when I came back from injury. It was. I still wanted to play. I knew it was my last year. And, the guys were great. We all kind of helped each other out, the players and the player coaches. So it was definitely, you don't get too many experiences like that, to be honest. So
I would say probably the best league you would have played in would be the KHL. Like, how close did that feel to the NHL? Did you have any of those real life crazy Russian stories that we hear about? It was pretty professional over there.
It was, yeah. You know what? Everyone always asks me about Russia, and then looking back, I really enjoyed my time there. It was, they treated you great. The travel was tough. It's a big country, but a lot of those teams. I know the one I was on, they were sponsored by an airline, so we had our own plane, types of things like that. But yeah, it was pretty cool. You get to, there's Yager was playing there. That was kind of cool to play against him, and throughout my time in Russia, played with Hagman, and this guy Curtis Sanford was there, and just made a lot of great friends. And at the time it was and still is. It's a good league, it's good hockey, and the Russian culture, being able to, it's a lot different here. A little bit of a language barrier, but there's nice people everywhere. They treated me great, so I had no complaints. But obviously, you see some, things are different, right? Like any country you're in, whether it's Sweden or Finland or right, it's just different cultures and things to us we see that are weird that they think's normal. So it's just the way it is.
You mentioned earlier about in Glasgow, you knew it was your last year. What went into your decision to call her quits? And why did you know it was your last year?
I think for me, it was, I never really had too many injuries, I think. My last injury I had was here in Cape Breton, where I had a sports hernia, and I just started dealing with, I just had some nerve issues in my back going into my leg, and missed a couple months. And you start to think, oh, geez, it wasn't an injury that, you break your arm or tear a muscle, it's going to be 6 or 8 weeks. But no, it just gets you thinking. And, I was getting old. It's a little different when you're the oldest guy by a little bit. And just figured it was time. You start slowing down a bit too. And, you can feel it. I just knew it was time. Yeah.
So you played, obviously, all across Europe and in many leagues. During your time with the Eagles, was there anybody that you played with, years later that you played with in the Eagles? Besides, I guess, Joey?
Joey, yeah. So
Chris?
I knew Joey, but never played with him before that. But we had a lot of mutual friends. I'm just trying to think of who would have played on.
Oh, yeah, right, because you never even crossed paths with Joey here.
Yeah, no. I remember, as I was older, I played against James Shepard in Germany. So that was pretty funny. I'm just trying to think of. I don't think I ended up playing with any of the guys after that, to be honest with you. In the American League, Fleury was in Wilkes-Barre for a little bit, but no, that would have been it. But it was always nice to see those guys you're playing against them.
Whatever happened to that Fleury anyway?
Yeah, Fleury. I think he did okay.
He did all right. Eh?
Yeah. Still talk to him still?
No, I haven't. No, it's just one of those things you lose touch over the years, and I don't think he's that big into social media either, right?
I don't think
so that's these days that's how a lot of whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, and I don't think he's into that. So
he was ahead of the curve in terms of keeping a low profile.
Yeah.
That's it.
Didn't want to be hounded by people.
Exactly.
Who are some of your better buddies from over the years from all the teams you played on that you keep in touch with?
From pro, Dennis Bonvy definitely is a real close buddy of mine, and I just think through the Cape Breton years, when I was younger, you come through, and I mean you get along with everyone, but right now it's guys up in Halifax. Stu McRae's up there. Max Lassard lives a couple streets over from my parents, and Justin Hocko's up there now. So James Shepard is back in Halifax. You see these guys around a bit more, and as through pro hockey too, it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, you can be a guy's best buddy be with him every day for a season. Then when the season's over, it's like, all right, kind of see you later, and you'll never see that person again, right? So it's kind of a weird world like that. But it's good with like I said, social media. Now you get to stay in touch with everyone for sure.
Yeah, so, it's weird because it wasn't a thing when he was playing, really.
Yeah.
No, there was there was none
cute.
of it really. Yeah, I remember. I got a cell phone actually when I came down, and no one really had a cell phone back then. My parents wanted me to have a cell phone, so I had it, and I was just making calls like it was I didn't, you know, it was long distance and stuff. I remember the first one came. I think it was a mortgage payment for them, and to kind of tighten it up a bit. But it's just funny how everything changes. For, you know, even getting on the computer, it was, you know, you got to wait your turn to get on the computer. Everyone gets an hour. You know what I mean? So it was definitely, things have changed where everything's in the palm of your hand.
Obviously, being back in Center 200, you're feeling a little bit nostalgic. I'm going to put you on the spot. If you had to name your favorite memory with the Eagles from your time here, what would you say?
I would say it was definitely the beating Halifax my first year. And, you know, everything was so new to me as well. And yeah, I would definitely say that my first year, that playoff series, and just how crazy the atmosphere was here, and that was pretty cool thing to be part of.
Yeah.
So
rivalry was really something back then.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then looking forward to tonight, like, you know, having this opportunity to be able to come back and, you know, have a night about you. You know, what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, no, it's you know, very nice of them, and you know, it's just makes you look back, and you know, I love my time here so much that you know, it's just nice to come back and you know, see some old faces, you know, meet up with buddies, and yeah, it's just kind of, you know, just a real nice thing. It's kind of, you know, it's hard to explain it, I guess, but just no, it's just grateful and just happy to be back.
So because it was, you know, this night is about you, we've been doing a lot of research. We're doing a lot of stuff about you. I need to get your reaction to this to close it out. This is from Eastlink, I believe 2001.
Yeah.
I want you to watch this and tell me what you think of it.
Stephen has enjoyed his time at Cape Breton, and unlike
That's funny.
on the team, the move has not.
It's funny, the old equipment, eh? I still remember all those. I don't even look like the same person, eh?
Cape Breton's almost like Halifax, still Nova Scotia.
That's hilarious, eh?
He has fit in well with his teammates and has adapted to the travel involved.
But that's the big thing, isn't it? The change in the equipment over the years is crazy.
It's a lot different.
Some of this stuff I don't even really remember it.
Everyone's a good guy, so everyone seems to get along.
That's good.
You have any old tapes that you go back and watch?
Well,
Fire up the VCR?
to be honest, I was Joey and Dad was asking if I had any. We actually found a bunch of VHS from back in those days, but we had a couple machines we actually couldn't get it going. So, but you know, that was before YouTube, as you can see. But yeah, there's not. We don't really have too many, to be honest. I'm sure they're on those VHSs, but we just got to get them going.
We had to go deep in the archives for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny
Today's
how
players are spoiled. They have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just funny how things have changed. And,
Yeah.
you know, it would have been actually pretty nice to have the highlights saved somewhere, right?
Yeah. No video coaches, I guess.
Yeah, coaching probably a lot different back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I learned that pretty quick last year when I was
Right.
coaching. It was, you know, it's a lot of, you know, that was one of the big parts about a lot of video. And, you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of, when I played, even really the video part of it. But, so it was, yeah, it wasn't fun doing it when I was coaching. Trying to cut the video. And yeah.
I'm picturing my experience of the team bus. I just look up and I see all the coaches like on their laptops. That's not a thing in Pascal's up in front of the bus and Blair.
Well, like I said, it was probably just more of a technology thing.
Right.
I'm just trying to think. I can't remember if we did. I think we did video back then, but it would have been a lot to cut it. But you know, I know we had a program the last few years where, you know, within probably an hour or two after the game, you get an email and every shift's clipped and they're sent to you, and you know, guys are watching it. So it's funny how everyone's got trying to get a little advantage, I guess.
Well, since I mentioned him, I guess we have to know if he has any good Bearcat stories.
Oh,
that he can
Bearcat!
tell on the podcast.
Yeah, no, Bearcat. You know, Bearcat was the best, and you know, just he was such a big part of the team, getting everyone together. You know, he's one of those guys. Everyone was Bearcat's friend, but he made every player feel welcome. And you know, we came in at the same time, so we had a little connection there. It was my first year, was his first year, and you know, went through those years together, and I mean, everyone's got 100 Bearcat stories. He was an intense guy, real good motivator. A guy just everyone respected, and we probably got some better stories after I was done playing. We'd get out for a few beer, but no, he was the best.
I think it's a good note today.
I think so.
I'm looking forward tonight. I think it's gonna be a fun night. Thanks very much.
Yeah,
Dix, for
thanks for having me. No, it should be a good laugh. Yeah,
Thanks. This was great.
thank you.